We're here in sterile processing with Dr. Dan Vargo, a surgeon at the University of Utah. And Dr. Vargo, the first time I came in toward sterile processing, I came up to this wall of consumables and I saw these Frisbees here and I thought I had to grab one, and it says, "Please text Dr. Vargo via smart web when the patient enters the room." Can you tell us about these Frisbees?
Well, the Frisbees are an interesting solution to a problem that we came across in the operating room. My patients would show up in the operating room and they would undergo induction of anesthesia and be prepped and draped and all prepared for surgery, and then I would get a page from the nurse in the operating room. If I didn't know the patient was in the operating room, I would start something else in my office, and that could be a phone call to another patient, that could be a conference call with somebody else, or I could be over at the Huntsman Hospital. And that's not fair to the patient who's in the operating room. They would be asleep for a longer period of time, nor is it fair to the person I was talking to on the phone, because then I would have to cut them off and go to surgery.
Right.
So we brainstormed a little bit to try and identify a way that every nurse in the operating room would know to call me when my patient entered the operating room.
And there's nurses you see new all the time, right? Nurses you don't work with the same team every day.
That's correct. When you work with the same team, then it makes it very easy because they know to call you. But if you have another service line who's working in your room, then they would need to have some sort of cue to be able to call me.
Okay, so that's the new system, is a visual cue that alerts anybody in that room to give you a text via the smart web.
That's correct.
Okay.
So the Frisbee is nothing normal about it for being on a case card. It's completely different. And so if you're a new nurse in the room, you'd look at that instrument cart and say, what is this Frisbee doing on here? And you would pick it up and look at it, and it would tell you that, oh, this is what the process is, the communication chain is for this operating room, is to call Dr. Vargo when the patient shows up in the operating room.
So that weirdness of the Frisbee is the visual alert, and that starts the communication chain.
That's correct.
All right, and apparently your system's really caught on, because I see this time I come through, we've got Frisbees for the transplant team.
That's correct.
To do a similar kind of system.
That's correct.
All right. Well, thanks for coming down. Really appreciate it.
No problem.